Yes, I know.
H. Think Hollywood.
Do you know what that trouble as well?
That's not what it stands for, but think Hollywood.
Marrow white to the red. Should be red.
But this is when you
Yeah,
start
what
to
is
pick.
Why is
and
six colours though? So.
Well, I've got that. It's Canon the red and white, and the EFS and...
But those,
Yeah.
that's known as the
Focus.
H. So what this bit here is the H. And then, so there's a different H on that one.
So remember,
And you
180
can see
degree
there,
shutter,
when we actually
double frame rate, so we've also got 50 yards and 60
see how much
yards.
easier this one is cold. So
Back focusing,
you can either do that up to your eyes with your viewfinder,
focus peaking, the blue one, beautiful pictures, or you just take over a manual
or
focus.
you can actually use it with the back screen out and then just shoot here. And that makes it much easier. Here, he's got a follow focus.
There we go.
This can actually be moved into a motor, which on the big one there,
Green and green and other scenarios.
there, that was
Literally mark they will measure to their subject matter, that can read, that's probably a reversal. They can measure it to exactly the same as married on that if we've only got one camera.
you can film
So it comes in really handy to have measurement. On the 8-sim device,
screen on
you've
there.
actually got the markings on top of the cage as well.
So I would generally
Something they thought about,
I don't know
which is very,
what
very good.
but I would generally with
Well, yeah, you
this
pull all
have
this on to
screen
show
out.
you. So while you're holding
I've
this,
done
I'm just going to
or on this one,
release
I
this
would
one.
actually,
Hold up top
yeah,
glass to the
there.
handles.
This is what this like.
Pull you away from this now.
I would normally shoot
Hopefully. Do it. There
like
we go.
that. So
Now,
I would
close
turn
that.
it on.
Yes, a lot of people like doing using this, but they use them just to
And then I
maybe
can,
this.
I can
Not all
this
the eyepiece.
just that little bit more.
Shoulder strap, pull tight, yeah, lock your eyes. Obviously 50 grand. There's the old GX5 G6, which is 12 stops. And we've got, that works out about 8 stops under middle grey in the shadows, shadow range, and then about 6, just over 6 stops above middle grey, yeah, 18%. So, loads of dynamic range to use in video with this camera. Juicy stuff.
Some point. No, it's all right.
Now this is your camera. We haven't got a test from DX0 mark. This is your camera, the S1. Already the S1 is doing brilliant. In the sweet spots, in the ISO range, dynamic range, the S1, the yellow one, Panasonic S1, against the current market leader, which is the A7 III, Sony. We are in the sweet spots. We climb around in the 360, 400, all the way to 1600 for the standard profiles, you know, already better in performance in those settings than other cameras.
Is that
The leader. Never quite the same as anyone else, or Sony certainly everywhere else. Sorry, yeah, sorry.
Is that, I don't know nominally, between 400 and 800 where that job is that 700?
Well, around here,
Yeah.
well, it's 640, it's half size, so we measure around
I
half.
should know that. But
Yeah. So 400, 640, 800. Yeah, 1250, 1600. So, yeah, so you can see in all the important areas the settings that we mainly shoot at in the day or when we're in log at night. When we get the S1H figures through, God knows, it's going to be off the chart at this level, you know? You know, it's quite incredible what the S series can do.
And this curve supports what you were saying just now about this dual native thing, doesn't it? It kind of looks like, that's a clue, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but
I'm not saying it is, but it is. You could interpolate that.
Yes, you could. But they have not confirmed to me.
No.
So we all know what vlog is. Log, yeah, now we've explained it. I don't really want to show a video. I can quickly show you some bit of it which
There's some later.
grey. And then you put a look or a colour look over the top of that. Designed in post-production. You can save that, put it in your camera, in the S1 with the vlog update, or the S1H. You can load up to 4 LUTs from a couple of pages of banks of VLT LUTs and forward, which you can save from DaVinci or create Photoshop. suite in a lot of creation software and freebies out there as well. I create a lot of LUTs, other companies do as well, under Vlog. I've transformed a lot of Harry LUTs over as well to Vlog to test out, and I'm really amazed by the performance of the S1H. The colour science really does come alive. So anyway, without that going on for a bit, you can see that online. What is Vlog? Look it up on YouTube. So we're talking rich primary colours. There's that bottle say 18% middle greys around there. So we've got 6 or more stops on the S1H. Yeah, look at the Varicam, yeah? We're equal to a 30 gram Varicam camera, the Varicam 35. We're equal there. We're actually bigger than the EVA1 actually. And then -8 stops under the shade. You need more for the shadows, just the way it is. So that is how we measure under a long curve the proportion of what is being used from middle grey, yeah, all the way up to the highlights. Blacks down here, middle grey, highlights at the top. And this is how all cameras are judged. GH5 only 12 stops. That was 8 and 4. 8 under, middle grey, 4 above. Any questions on final range? Cool. And there it is. I was talking earlier on about, on a chart, what does it look like? Because this is the 10-bit values of Vlog and the 10-bit values of Log C against each other. Look how close we are. We're actually closer to C-Log on the array white gamut with Vlog V gamut. We are closest to them than any other camera performance, manufacturer. So that, what does that mean? The Arri Alexa is the #1 camera in Hollywood. It's the #1 camera in Netflix. We've just been given Netflix accreditation for the S1H as an A camera. Yeah, it's now, there's no other mirrorless camera out there which can do that. It's been given that accreditation. We can mix and match the look of the Arri very easily with the S1H. It's insane. I've been doing it. A mate of mine runs a rental company. I've been using some footage from the Arri, and I've brought it in with similar footage with the S1H, and I'm totally knocked out how similar it is, and it's a tenth of the price. And yeah, there's the Arri Look library. I've even looked at using the Arri Look library, which you can download online. There are a couple of LUTs they have on the Arri Look library. And if you transform them with a few of the freebies like the LUT calc on the web, you can transform into Vlog, and you'll see absolutely amazing how close they are. I've been also doing stuff with raw photography, trying to capture all that dynamic range from a 14-bit raw image and seeing how Vlog matches up, or how Vlog matches up with photos, which have saved to JPEG on the timeline, but sort of demonstrate the colour. That's great Vlog. That's how it looks when you put a particular LUT on. I'm going to show you a few LUTs. This is from Brighton. So that's a photo from raw to JPEG. That's how Vlog LUT looks. Now we put the LUT on, like photo I've created, and it's identical to a raw image. It's so close. I'm sure you'll agree. There's not much in it. Yeah. It's pretty darn similar. Photo, light photo, dripping LUT. Yeah. Very, very little in it. And that's not even been a highly tuned. You can tune these in something like DaVinci Resolve or any colouring program. This is some Arri LUTs libraries.
On S1H, one of the things you can do, NS1, if you've done the Vlog update, you can actually choose Vlog as a stills colour profile as well. So if you are doing behind the scenes stills photography, you can shoot your behind the scenes stills in Vlog colour format, so that when you come to grade and match, you can very easily grade and match your
grade map between the cameras.
And between different.
And that was the whole point of this exercise, Carol, to make these LUTs to prove that we can get that same colour science.
That behind the scenes photography can be done on the same camera.
Yeah, so there's a number of different looks I've created, and these are available on my nickdripper.com. So I've got some freebies up there if you want to try them out. If you guys use Vlog in any way, shape or form. but obviously I do sell a few. I've got a package for over 100 lots in what I consider, it's taken me months to do, the best LUT library out there today. Even better than the Vericam freebies, which Panasonic do give away. 35, is it, LUTs on there? There are some nice ones, mine. There's one called Nicest 709, which is on the Vericam LUT library. So that all the cinema LUTs work really well with the S1H on Panasonic as well. But don't just listen to me or other LUT providers. Panasonic do give a lot of stuff away free.
They're a good start spot.
Yeah. And but I was particularly interested in getting that alley look, that the whole purpose of designing LUTs which match the cinema look and raw photo. So yeah, I mean, it's just with skin tone as well. I mean, in fact, sometimes they're even better the video on the eye than the drawing. But yeah, you can see massive similarities. And then obviously the other thing, a lot of stuff like that online you can have a look at. Anamorphic. Now, hands up anyone who's shot anamorphic before? Anamorphic lenses? Yeah? I know you have, man, definitely. They're really expensive. I wish Sigma did some anamorphic lenses. Is that in the pipeline? No comment.
Panasonic is still saying that.
Yeah, they get asked often enough. Anamorphic lenses, quality ones, I'm talking about like the Hawks and the master anamorphic lenses of yesteryear. Some of the old Cower lenses. I mean, there's a whole array of newer anamorphic lenses. They cost a fortune, And what I tend to do, even from the GH series, the Micro Four Thirds series, and other cameras, I've been just using anamorphic projection lenses. Like this is a Cower B&H ×2. It's a ×2 squeeze, yeah? That means an anamorphic lens, it looks like a tiger's eye or a cat's eye, yeah? It can squeeze using the full resolution of the sensor twice as much information into that area. So when you de-squeeze, you've got twice the width, but enjoying the same focal length of this is the holding lens, or if you're using a dedicated anamorphic lens, the focal length of the anamorphic lens. So, for example, this one, here's an example shot with this. This is the 7200 Panasonic lens, f4. I use it as a holding lens. I set it to 105, so there's no vignetting. I've got the Bell & Howell's ×2 anamorphic, an old lens. You can pick these up anywhere between 800 to 1500 quid. Anamorphics cost a lot of money. There are cheaper ones out there. I don't know what you're using.
I was using Schneider and Cinelux, similar to this.
Yeah, similar. Yeah, they make similar ones. Cower badge, they're different badge, but some of them are the same as 16.8, whatever. Sancor. What else is there? There's SLR Magic. That's the Micro Four Thirds.
There's also the Rectulux that goes on top where you can single focus solution.
Yes. There's loads of sites out there who recommend old projection lenses. Some of the glasses, particularly this one, and some of the stuff you've been using, it's really good. You can get the same flaring, that horizontal flaring, that blue flaring and shine a light in it. Yeah? Like you see on the big cinematic films, and you see a car coming, and then this big blue streak as it arrives on the forecourt. That's that sort of flaring that anamorphic gives you, that horizontal flare. It gives you the oval bokeh. So when you've got that objective field, you get a nice oval, the round things appear oval, and it's an aesthetic that a lot of cinematic filmmakers like. And I think if used sparingly, it can work really well, as you saw in that film there. You can mix and match traditional lenses with anamorphic.
Is really famous for shooting tons and tons and tons of anamorphic.
Yeah.
And if you watch the rebooted Star Trek films, whenever they're on the bridge and the consoles are out of focus behind, you will see absolutely archetypal blue horizontal flare behind everything.
Yeah.
And once you've recognised it, as soon as you see it, you never notice it. And actually GH5 and GH5S in particular, GH5 in
They are anamorphic modes as well.
start to really put anamorphic into the hands of indie filmmakers, which is why suddenly Russian projector lenses went up in value enormously. And actually you occasionally even see adverts on television now which are shot have anamorphic components to them. And that's because of things like GH5 and now S1 and S1H. That it puts it into the hands of indie filmmakers.
Yeah, so what we're trying to say here is that you've got these anamorphic modes, which the S1H and the GH5,
Yeah.
GH5S support. And there's different settings, different frame rates, this will work under. And then also you've got in-camera D-squeeze. So instead of seeing squeezed image, which is using the full size of the sensor, or in this particular setting, a 4x3 image of the sensor. Let's get to that menu quickly. Just to show you what we're trying to talk about. Can you see this down here? There's our log view assist, so we can put LUTs in the camera as well. Anamorphic D-squeeze display. This supports ×2, ×1.8, ×1.5, 1.8 being the new, a lot of new anamorphic lenses, so if you shoot your 3x2, 1.2 is perfect for it. 1.6, 1.5 rather, 1.33 and 1.30. So it will de-squeeze, i.e. make it, it'll unsqueeze it. Let me just show you a bit with it off, and you'll sort of get it what I'm trying to talk about here. If I turn it off, the de-squeeze, you'll see in the picture, there's the 4x3, yeah, the squashed in anamorphic effect of the image, yeah? As soon as I kick in the D-squeeze, we bring it back to what it should look like. This is a ×2 lens, yes, Cower ×2, Bellenhauer's Cower ×2, you can see underneath there. Each lens should tell you what it is. There we are, 2 times anamorphic. When you turn that, so you set it on to ×2, and then when you view it, you can film and see how it's going to look in post-production. Also, just focus on, not focus over at the moment, but you can see that it's giving me the D-squeeze rather than the 4x3 frame aspect, yeah? Where it's squeezed. That means you can see in your camera what you're going to get in post-production, basically. We'll still record a squeezed image, but in post-production you can either set it to CinemaScope, or you can, if you're using different size multipliers like 1.8, 1.5, etc., you will conform it accordingly, whatever size it is. And that means you can get 239, 235 to 1, all the different aspect ratios of the cinema. That's what we're trying to say. So as well as working with normal spherical glass, we're working with different forms of glass. Anamorphic lenses like this can produce an orange flare. Yes, Carol talked about the blue flare for certain lenses. The Hawks do a vanilla white flare, which a lot of people like. So it's really, really nice to work with, you know. Different, and you can hire these lenses too. And they all work with, some of these lenses you can get an EF or PL mount. Sigma produce adapters for these for the L mount. We've got some cinema lenses here, I haven't got any more here unfortunately, but yeah, you can hire these lenses on a daily basis. And I would suggest using them sparingly, probably not like JA round. Roger Deakins, for example, doesn't like anamorphic at all.
Yeah.
It's one of these anti-anamorphic fans. But they do have their uses, and this camera does it all. But here's something shot with this particular Cower. What I do like, not just the flaring, this is a William Blake poem I did. I'm doing a film about William Blake's poems. How different are the cinematic versions of the art lenses?
They're 100% different and 100% identical. There's 100% new, 100% retained. The optic grid, the actual bits of glass, are exactly the same. So this is the equivalent lens from someone like Leica or Zeiss in the cinema, it would be 20 because of the optics. We have an economy of scale for making the glass. If you're making cine lenses, you're making 100 a year. And this caught us out when we did the shows. People going up to saying, oh yeah, I really like that. Could buy a match set?
Yeah.
How do you mean? Well,
That's director eyepiece.
Yes,
lovely.
yes. If you want to have a look at the FP, Ed might
Now, you've got the
have an
directors,
FP
yeah.
sitting over in the corner there. Yes, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not at all. It's luckily my sales manager isn't here. All the time that Robin is, my sales manager isn't here, I'm happy to show the FP off. It's just if you suddenly walk down, Ed will be quietly ferreting it away. But actually, there's a really good argument for having both cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My opinion, FP is our
yeah,
big
that's the H, exactly the same as this one. That one is naked. So that's it in its raw format. I know it's not amazing.
Also,
That looks like it's on the
maybe that's
machine.
not manual.
Would you work?
You see me holding the camera.
I can't find it at the moment. It doesn't matter, but what we can do is we can go back to Panasonic and say, well, we advertised it, we're on it. But there's lots of these, so there's lots of tools. And really the number is JPEG versus a raw file. So 8-bit gives you about 1,000 colour channel. And 10-bit
Yeah, absolutely.
gives
So
you
we put the 3D cameras on
channel. So you end up with about 1 million shades of colour. That means if you change the colour of something that's a fairly uniform colour like sky, if you do it on 8-bit, you can get bands. I don't know if you've ever seen on JPEG's posterisation. Whereas if you do it in 10-bit, you wouldn't get those bands. So 8-bit and 10-bit really just give you more colour space.
Sorry, the S1H is duration free, so it's down to the amount of SD cards that you hot swap into the dual SD slots. The S1 has only got XQD and one SD card slot. In this particular body, let's show you that. Slightly bigger the XQD for photography if you're doing raw, fast recording of raw photography. You need a high burst rate, needs obviously a faster card. Having said that, SD cards are coming up to nowadays up to very, very high speeds beyond V90. Very, very quick and able to write, certainly with this camera, long duration recordings. If you're doing events, weddings, long recording sessions, you can do it quite comfortably with this camera. You can record up to 30 minutes on these, 15 minutes in 6K photo mode. But this will go on forever, as long as you've got enough battery juice or SD cards, you can keep feeding them and swapping, you can just keep going. So that's the first thing which is great about this camera. The second thing is colour science. I was talking to you earlier on about, there's the, before we get there, very quick differences. There's the S1R, top end, mainly photographic, S1, a mixture of both photography and videography, and now with the S1H, specifically really for cinematographers, pro filmmakers, people who really want to go up a level, but it still retains the photographic capabilities, certainly of the S1, providing you really good 14-bit imagery, and you can do time-lapse, which is a very important aspect of filmmaking and photography. I know that you just bought an S1, haven't you, recently? How are you finding it? Loving it?
Yeah, it's a big step up since the last thing I bought 9 years ago. So
right. It's your first camera in nearly 10 years.
It's like, yeah. No,
Things have changed, times have changed.
Two quantum levels.
Yeah. You've actually gone through a lot there, but you're enjoying all the benefits now, all that change. And great little camera, great colour science. And again, it's been improving further in the S1H. The VariCam engineers have worked, top-end cinematographers have engineered and worked on this sensor in the S1H. So we get the benefit of their experience in a bigger sensor. This is bigger than the VariCam 35, bigger than the VariCam Pure. That's only a Super 35 sensor. This is a full frame sensor. We've got dual image stabilization, and on lens, and certain lenses,
not that one.
and in body image stabilization. So I can do pans, movement, and there's no jerky, like you get on other cameras. You don't actually need a gimbal for certain shots. You know, if you're quite steady, you can produce a really nice flowing motion, you know, without using a gimbal. Of course, people do like using gimbals if they're doing a lot of faster movement, you know, and there's every good reason to use them. So, but these other functions which I want to talk about today, which really bring this camera at the forefront. There's the chief differences between the S1R photographic camera. It does do a little bit of video. It excels obviously in photographic terms. It can do 47.3 megapixels, slightly bigger sensor. It can do a 187 high resolution photo mode. The S1 is more for low light work. So it's a 24.2 megapixel sensor. The pixel phototypes are actually bigger, which means more light gets into those photo buckets, which means in low light, in the dark, it performs admirably well. The S1H goes a stage further. It's a highly tuned dual ISO sensor. 4,000, 5,000, even 10,000 ISO is amazing, and it's better than the current full frame market, the A7S II, in terms of performance in low light. In my own testings and what I've seen. And I'm going to look at a few graphs probably later to show the sweet spots as well. So there's a so in the middle of the S1 hybrid, the S1H clear difference is 6K camera. This is a 6K camera now, and that means you can shoot the full open gate, the full size of the sensor. That means if you're doing HD or 4K UHD, you can use that to crop out or do post-production digital effects without any loss of resolution. You really engage and use that 6K facility. Or obviously you can master your films in 6K, or we can extrapolate single frames, photographers, from that 6K image and get really high resolution, 18 megapixels, Carol here? Yeah. In size, JPEGs, which is pretty darn good. They look as good as in my opinion, some of the raw photos. Yeah, but running at 50 frames per second or 25, 30p, 24p, obviously Super 35 in 50 frames per second, 60 frames per second. We also do HD with sound at 120 frames per second now, and the dynamic range is incredible. It's noise free at those dual ISO settings, which I'm going to show you. 120 at NTSC mode, 100 in PAL mode. You can switch this with the frequency range from 24 cinema mode, 50 Hertz, PAL mode, 60 Hertz, NTSC mode. And that comes with a host, a plethora of different codecs and frame settings, which we'll show you shortly. So loads of clear differences from the S1. This comes already inbuilt with VLOG, a logarithmic curve for recording all the high contrast gamma recording with 10-bit 14.2. We have a ProRes RAW video option for the HDMI coming very shortly with Atomos and a new firmware update. This will be able to record up to 6K RAW, 24p. I've been showing 30p RAW, 5.9K at IBC in Amsterdam, which is working really well in the current tests. That's going to be happening soon. With the RAW recording, it means it's even better than the codecs recording in camera. So really high quality, and you can pull back, temperature, you can pull back the highlights, and you get better detail in the shadows. Across all these cameras, they all share one common thing: for the best EVF in the market today, 5.76 megapixel. I've got a security gratical somewhere on here, which is this one here. This is an HD resolution only EVF, external EVF. It costs about £2,000, these cinema ones do, £2,000 for that. This comes in as part of the camera, 5.7K, an insane resolution with a 0.78 magnification. What have you experienced? Good?
5.7 meg, not 5.7.
5.7 megapixels, sorry. I'm getting mixed up. Megapixels, yeah. 5.7 megapixels. That's only HD, 1920, 10.
So if you haven't had a chance to look through, this is the S1, but the viewfinder is identical.
Past this S1H RAM as we talk.